Sure, we'll offer these. $48. Whoops. Ah, well, let's go deal with this. Underestimate the rando enemies. Accidentally switched what Barrow's on. Yep. Ooh, 4 more arrows. Nice. 1, 2. Might call quits soon. A room waist guard. Please. Increases its charge rate. Damage taken while attacking minus 3%, plus 3 look. No, mental damage taken is reduced too. Oh, big sword. Not seeming to get any luck on finding incendiary arrows off him. I am actually getting pretty knackered now. I'll take another crack at killing Big Boy and then we'll call it. High stance attacks. We have not covered that. Ooh. Reduces war damage taken, which is irrelevant. Gives an extra 12 to the ninjutsu gauge. I don't know the benefit. And if we evade successfully, we heal. One, two.
気の灰か。そっくび叩き落としてくれようぞ。
Does none of that count as a successful evade? Okay, let me look this up. Not seeing how this is meant to work. Auto life recovery. Evade. A month ago, someone called Gepma on Reddit ran some numbers. Uh, they were using the Grace of Hotai set and did some calculation. Well, I'll just read it word for word. Well, I don't have the 7 pieces test damage at the moment, I'll report back when status farmed. So, auto recovery buff provides you with X regen per tick and lasts wide duration, based on the source of the buff. When you stack these buffs, duration is set to the last effect to increase the stack count, so you want the longest buff at the end and refresh stacks with it. Worst part about this buff? Duration stat has no effect on it. 5 int or 99 int plus 30 duration from the Hotai set itself. No increase. Bug. One way to get longer durations, use Amplification common skill, which increases Rejuvenation Talisman duration from 30 to 33 seconds. Okay, they don't have the Evade one, but it's probably the same as Deflect. Base duration 3 ticks, regen per tick 2%. So that's a 6% heal. Let's try it out here before I go anywhere else. I'm not getting any procs right now. Oh, wrong form. That explains it. What am I, in Warsun Gulch? I meant to see Rabbit Valley. Ultrac Valley, but whatever. No, it doesn't work. Or if it does work, it's, I don't know, minuscule to the point of me not even being able to notice it. Oh, come on. Just gonna do a takedown. I don't have any clarification on what evade is. It just bugs me that I have something that seems to be useful to me and it's not working. You're back in a sec. Evade is not something I actually have yet. Yeah. Evade is... Yeah, evade's actually something you have to unlock. So, yeah, this talisman is actually entirely worthless to me, I think. Yeah, it boosts the shuriken gauge, and that's it. Okay, I've gotten a bit more gear. Sure, why not? Oh, that's the giant sword. Yeah, yeah. We'll ignore that. Sword. Chico powder. I don't know what that is. Makes it easier to become more familiar with the weapons. Do they have anti-grinding things in play? Because this guy swear used to be more generous. Uh, Wait. Yeah, and yeah, we don't have evade. It's not an option. At the very least, will give me 10 defense. I'm sorry, I can't hear that without hearing goddamn Prince of Tennis. Ooh, nice incendiary arrow. And a few bits of kit there, but I don't think it's anything really to write home about. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm just getting too tired. Just getting way too tired. Sure. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you join me again soon. I'm liking the game so far. The story seems a bit off. Wonder if part of that's the writing. As in the translation. Wonder if it's partially that. I'm gonna put this in a hard way, folks. Due to how the industry is with translation, we've never gotten... Due to how the industry is, we've never actually gotten a Final Fantasy game. Yes, you may say, oh, you played Final Fantasy VII. No. You played a mistranslated version of Final Fantasy VII. Tifa never canonically calls Barret a retard. That was a mistranslation. The game is riddled with them. All of them are. Even the most recent ones are riddled with mistranslations. Liberties taken abound. FF14 especially so. No, the guy in the Scions did not fuck the doll he made a Moonbreeda, no matter what the translators said. Even when they changed that and fixed it, in quotations, it was still wrong. So I do question how, like, any issue with story in one of these games is partially driven by the rampant incompetence. Well, if you find issue with the writing or the story of these kind of games, of Japanese games, it may not be the game. It may be the translators bastardizing it. Because they change a lot of things. I remember one bragging about changing an entire storyline in a game because it didn't suit with them what it was. I think some guy was a prick. He got his comeuppance, but he didn't like him being allowed to be a prick in the first place. That was foreboding to them. And so they changed the dialogue, they changed the story. Unicorn Overlord, that's riddled with mistranslations. Riddled with them. I remember seeing a minor one, and it was just like, in the Japanese it was like the Dark Elf village is ahead, but the English was there's a lot of Dark Elves ahead. Not like there's a problem with that around. Very, very different, you know. So yeah, it's a question if any of this is accurate in the writing. There's a reason why companies are going for AI to translate things. The only issue is AI can be programmed to mistranslate things. Translate virgin as incel, as that one translator did. I'm not joking. There was a translator on Twitter bragging about mistranslating virgin as incel or loner as incel. Sorry, I'm having to move my monitor. So, you know, AI could just be programmed to mistranslate things as well. So, yeah. I don't blame companies for going with it. I'm not particularly a fan of the AI translations because the AI could hallucinate and get things wrong. It's not perfect. The system isn't flawless. But given that so many of the translators take pride in mistranslating the work, take pride in bastardizing it, and I swear one was even at a convention, this was a number of years back, and admitted that, yeah, no, her and most of her colleagues did not speak Japanese, but you still have to defer to them for what the line said. You weren't allowed to translate it yourself. You don't have the experience being a translator to say what those words mean, even if it clearly means not what the translator's saying. Like, you know, there's clearly dialogue happening, but the translators just put dot, dot, dot instead. Sadly, the example of that, well, there was no dialogue. There was actually writing there in the Japanese version, but there was no audio component to it in that game, so you didn't even have that to tip you off that something was wrong. God, it's obnoxious. Like I said, we haven't actually gotten an actual Final Fantasy game over here. None. Never. We've got things masquerading as Final Fantasy games, but we've never actually gotten a Final Fantasy game. It's profoundly aggravating. Profoundly. So, there's been a translator on Twitter for the last while, bragging, like just trying to justify and brag about the bastardizations he's doing of games. Like characters would shout "flowing steel," even in English they would shout "flowing steel," but he would have them rewrite it to "taste my steel" instead, because he doesn't like characters shouting out their moves. Like, what are they, Pokemon? So, I think he made that remark. I can't quite remember, like the Pokemon bit. I think he said that, but honestly, I'm just caught up on the rest of it. It's fucking obnoxious. So I'm just standing up here. Actually, I can take off this headset. I don't actually need to wear it. This chair is just kind of hurting me at this point. Oh, sticking to it. But yeah, the whole translation industry is completely banjaxed. Completely. I was saying it in other videos, but I'm not sure how many of those are out. But a wet dream of mine would be to have my own studio. That way I can act like a jackbooted tug, and no, you can fill in the blanks yourself here. If the translators decided to, kick off, they won't do it again if I feed them their legs. So, yeah, that's a dream. I would love to have my own studio, a translation thing, and do the work fucking right. Something that I will absolutely love. Like here, bring up the menu, go over to. No. Go in here, and there's like this encyclopedia. Something I would love is having an extra section here called Translator's Notes. And as you go through and go through conversations, hit different points, new notes will be unlocked. Because on like on a life level, there's issues in translation between English and Japanese on a life level. In English, we have one word for I. I. That's it. You can also say myself, but that's not I. You know. We have a few ways to refer to ourselves, but the word I, we only have that. In Japanese, there's like 4 or 5 or something. I know there's boku and or. There's watashi. And then there's like at least 1 or 2 feminine ones. I don't know what they are. There's numerous ways to do it, and they all have different meanings and usages, and there's a whole thing to it. Similarly, like there was the kisama we heard earlier. That's you, but offensive. It was a term apparently used by samurai to refer to each other respectfully. It was a fine term at that point, but then it shifted and migrated, and now it's an insult. It's very rude, apparently. But so yeah, like on a light level, there's stuff being left out in translations, and that's outside of like deliberate mistranslations or fuckery. There's stuff being left out. Like a director was commenting on this, how parts like when things get translated, stuff is left behind due to the differences in language. And he's right. He's very much right. It goes beyond that. There's also deliberate mistranslations and whatnot. So, but yeah, my wet dream will be to have a competent studio, to have my own studio, have it be competent, and to translate works. And beyond that, to have translator notes. That, like, given the differences in languages, not everything can be smoothly translated. But by having translator notes that are unlocked as you go, you can read over them and get a fuller picture. By having translator notes, we wouldn't be restricted to just what would flow in, to send the conversation there. We could have like an explanation of, we said this, this was how it was in the original Japanese, and this is a more 4 version of it, or whatever. Like he says I here, but he uses or, and this is what or means. So this is what it would end up meaning to a Japanese person. Like the like um, how that would affect the sentence. Him using or over boku or vice versa, or instead of watashi. What it would mean. And giving like notes on it. I think I would fucking love that. I've seen far too many things that just leave stuff out of the translation or just change dialogue. There was a game I played before, the demo of it. It's up on the channel. Twin Guardians or something. You play as 2 sisters. Their school is taken over by demons. Basically, some demoness that they fought before had opened a demon realm where the school was. And so now everyone inside has been shunted into the demon manor. And so the sisters proceed into the manor to try and rescue them. At one stage, it's an older sister and a younger sister. The older sister is wondering how the guy she has a crush on is. With the younger sister referring to him as, let's say his name is Jim, because I don't remember what it was. Jim Oni. Slowly referring to him as brother. That was entirely dropped in the translation. No honorific, no nothing. Which took away from a bit of the character. The dude's outright being called brother by the little sister already, That certainly sounds significant to me. And I hope I'm audible enough standing here. I'll turn up the dial. So, I can actually alt-tab. It doesn't matter. Sorry, just sitting there was hurting. I've been there for the last while. I'm a bundle of aches and woe. But, yeah, she's already referring to him as brother. So, that seems significant, and yet that's left out. So, like, I would be against translating it as brother, as that would confuse people. But by translating it as, like, Jim Oni, leaving it as an honorific, I think that'll be better. Still probably confuse some people, but, that's really on them. Like, the way I view it is, it's an anime game. That's probably going to scare off a lot of the normies. So the people left behind are the people probably more willing to accept that cultural differences, probably more on the level. I don't get it with companies hallucinating money on the table and chasing it. Fair enough for a company to chase money on the table, but when the money doesn't even exist and the table's on fire and over in a ditch, I don't know why they're obsessed with it. So, But, the real segue of that was I was thinking, like, a lot of these games are built towards a particular audience, a niche audience. But they don't actually ever think of courting them. They keep tailoring it for the normies that will never buy it. And that's annoying to me. Like, really. But, it is what it is. But, yeah, ultimately, like, I do wonder in the translation of these games how accurate it is, how good a job did they do. I remember hearing about the Tales of series, There's a chick in it. In the English version, she keeps threatening to beat people with a stick. That's not in the Japanese version. That's a whole on addition by the translators. Or butchers, as I prefer to call them. Honestly, I found the whole thing so very obnoxious. So very, very obnoxious. If I'm spending money on a game, I want to get the game and not a bastardized version of it. I regret the amount of money I spent on FF14 for this very reason. I spent far too much and not getting FF14. It's obnoxious. Like, seriously. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this all the same, despite my ranting for the last, 20 minutes. What can I say? I like talking. Hopefully you like listening. Skill issue if not. But I do hope you've enjoyed. And I do hope you join me again soon. If there's anything at all you'd like to tell me, please let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, love and peace, baby.